because I was appointed in the January of 2011 as the curator of Trafo Gallery. During this picture you can see our whole institution, which was founded in 1998 by the city of Budapest. So they are financing our programs. But the Trafo House of Contemporary Arts, as you can see, it used to be a real transformation house for electricity, and it was squatted and then turned into a multifunctional cultural house. And beside it is hosting Trafo Gallery, which is doing international visual art program. It also has a 300-seating theater, which is a very important place for alternative dance and alternative theater and music concerts. So basically, I almost said everything about Trafo, which I wanted. And please check the homepage if you are more interested in the programs. One thing I would say about our institution that it is a very important part of the Budapest art scene, because, for instance, there is no other place which hosts international theater or dance performances, and because of this profiling, the gallery also has a strong international and regional aspect or spectrum. But what I wanted to do when I was appointed as the curator is that Trafo really had a strong exhibition program, so I could have done a presentation where I could have dropped some freedom. But what I was more interested in, not to fall into the trap of the arrogancy of international exhibition programs, which completely lose connections with their local emerging art scene. And what I found very interesting is that Budapest art scene really evolved in the last few years, and if I can make a few other PR sentences, so Budapest really has now an enormous potential in means of exploration, because it has a very big diversity of institutions and the artists who are just waiting to be explored by the international art scene. So this is my virtual alter ego now, as this is the empty space of Trafo Gallery, which is actually considered in the local art scene as a mobile, middle-sized institution hosting group shows or solo exhibitions, but in fact it is not so big. It is 120 square meters, and it has quite, of course, we are doing workshops, educational programs, but somehow the basis of the gallery program is real old school exhibitions, 5 or 6 group shows and solo exhibitions a year. So what I'm trying to speak a little bit about now is that how do I program the Trafo Gallery and what are my keyword interests in showing arts. And for instance, I try to talk already a little bit about the local context, that I think it is very important as we are in many ways experiencing the end of globalization, and I think that it is somehow a natural process that the peripheries don't try to reconnect to the centers, but try to establish their own sustainable networks. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to research if there is at all something called Eastern European art or identity, because in these parts of Europe there are several smaller or semi-big countries which has more or less the same social base. I mean, there are some similarities in history, and somehow the place or the context of art is, from my point of view, potential of creating a whole new art identity. But of course, this can be also questioned as a self-colonizational process. And I choose this artwork of Miklós Mécs, which actually was shown in the studio of young artists, if I remember well, in 2007 or 2008. And the artist actually did tear 5,000 euros in these pieces. And what he did, that he tore the 50 euro notes at the same geographical point as the ex-Iron Curtain was positioned in Europe. And I took this as an example of a really witty, satiric or ironic, eye-catchy artwork, which can somehow represent this Eastern European identity. And of course, there are some traps of always speaking of the local, because there is no real big borderline between the local and the provincial. So in my program, it is a very crucial point that although I'm focusing on local contexts, I always try to show artworks which are somehow critiques of provincialism